So guys, welcome back to a new video series of Try Hack Me series, and welcome back to my channel, that is Crack It with Sinha. So in this video we will solve a new room of Try Hack Me which is released today itself, that is Python Basics. And so if you are watching this video, that means you want some walkthrough and want to learn how the codes work and how to execute them and solve the task. So we will just go to the room. For that, just click on the Learn tab above and go to search here and type Python Basics. You can see we got a room here. Just open that. So as you go down, you can see that this is a free room and there are 386 users right now, and this was created today itself. So now, as the room states, we are using a web-based code editor, as you can see on the right hand side, and we will learn the basics of Python and put our knowledge into practice by eventually coding a short Bitcoin investment project that will be at end. Guys, yes, it's here, Bitcoin project. So in this room we will learn about variable, loops, function, data structure, if statement, and about file handling. So if you don't know anything about this, don't worry, I will teach you and tell you how it's done. So for now, as you can see, if we clicked on view sites, we get our console here. So this is, I guess, running on Python 3. This is syntax of Python 3 coding. As you can see, print with bracket, small bracket with a double inverted comma and the string under it, inside it, sorry. When we click run code, this will print the output with learn security with Try Hack Me, or we can just change it to bracket now. And if we do so, then this is the output. Basically this is a small print statement, so we'll just first of all now click on completed for this task one. Now the second task is, to begin, let's create a simple program that outputs some text, that is print hello world. So as you can see, example block above this one line code, and when we, so it says anything we want to output, we can do that by using print and small bracket, and anything inside of parentheses, that is small bracket I say, will be the output. And however, if we are printing a string, it should be inside the double quotation marks, and if it's a variable declared, we will learn about that in the next task, in task 4, so we don't use that. So now here it's asking on the code editor print hello world, what is the flag. So as we learned, for printing we type print with parentheses, and with double inverted comma we will do hello world. And just click on run code. Exercise completed. The flag is thm print statement. So I'll just copy it and paste it here. This was nothing, just a print hello world, the very first command you learn in any coding language. So now the next task is mathematical operators. We will learn about addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and exponent. The modulus you can also tell as remainder, and the exponential is getting the power of something index, like 5 raised up to power of 2 is 25. We will learn about loops also, like if you want to do a same task again and again, we won't write code again and again, we will just put it in a loop and that will be done automatically. And we will also learn about if statements, like if the condition is true, then print the statement, else move on to the next statement. Like if you go for a shopping and you have on a list that if bread is present, just go and buy that. If not, don't bring butter too. Or if bread found, then buy butter too. It's like something real life. So what's here? Flag.txt, shipping.py, bitcoin.py for this leave it. So now it's saying in the code editor, print the result of 21 plus 43. What is the flag? So as we saw, for addition we use the plus statement. We will just write the so we'll run the addition. So as we don't need to print this string, so we'll also remove the double inverted quotations, and we will need to do 21 plus 43. Let's just run code. So our sum is 64 and the flag we have here, THM addition. So now it's asking to print the result of 142 minus 52, that is a subtraction operator. We'll just do so by 142 minus 52, run the code, and it's 90, and we have our flag subtract here. So now the next, the print the result of 10 into 342, that is multiplication operator. So just 10 star 342, that's correct. So now we have a flag multiplication Python. Now it's saying print the result of 5 squared, that is 25 in total. So for that we will use the exponential operator, that is 5 double star 2. Now that's 25. Now the flag we get here, that is THM exponent power. So there was nothing like difficult. It was just a beginner level task 3. So we'll just move on to our task 4. So now it says variable and data types. So variables are like containers in which we store some data, and then data types are the default data types that are already written by the community or the developers of that language. Like here in food, food is a variable like a container, and it contains data ice cream. And money is also a variable of int type that contains the value 2000, and here food is the type of string. So here age is of int type and contains 30, and another age equal to age plus 1, that is age is value of 30, int type is incremented by 1, that is 31. So as we do print age, it will give us 31. Same as here, these are the strings, these are the floating numbers. Decimal numbers are known as floating numbers in programming. These are integers with no decimal. These are the boolean values as true and false, and these are the list containing 2 or more items. It's like an array but not an array. It can contain at similar types or different types too. Now in the code editor, create a variable called height and set its initial values to 200. So we'll do so. We will create a variable naming height. So just give the variable name followed by an equal to and the value that we want to do. In Python, there is directly an initialization in the code wherever you want. We don't need to declare like in C and Java. So let's do the next task. So we did this of declaration of height. So now on a new line, add 50 to the variable height. So we'll do height equal to height plus 50 followed by a semicolon, so that it tells it sorry, in Python we don't need semicolon, that's in C and Java. I'm very sorry. In semicolon using C and Java, it tells the compiler that it is the end of the line and terminate the task there and move with a new line. Now it says now print the value of height, and what is the flag up here. So we just to print, and as we are printing the variable, we don't need to put a double inverted comma here, as it is not a string we are printing. So the output is 250 and the flag is THM variable. So now we will move to logical and boolean operators. The logical operators are basically for checking and comparison to another condition. As you can see, it's to be made or used in conditional testing such as if statements. So in equivalence double equal to whether a value A is similar to value B having the same type and same value. By type I mean string or integer. Less than or equal to, greater than or greater than equal to. You can just know by the examples here itself. And in the boolean we check with a true statement whether the conditions must be true, then the value next will be printed, and not, then return true if y is false, and you will just understand if you just use these. Nothing hard to understand. So let's take a look at a few Python code examples. So here a is initialized as 1, and if a is equal to 1, here it is checking whether a is equal to 1 or a is greater than 10. Means if any of the cases, whether a gets value of 1 beforehand, or if a is greater than 10, then it will move to the next line of printing. So if yes, then it will print a is either 1 or above 100. And if we did have put and here, so this will return false, because if a is 1, it can't be greater than 10. So the print statement would not have been printed. Same case here. Here we have a name variable with data Bob in it as a string type. I hope you can see it if I just zoom it here. And here hungry is equal to true, so the value is set as true by default. So now if name equal to Bob and hungry equal to true, it's saying that if the value of hungry is true and the name contains Bob as a string input, then print Bob is hungry. Else if name is equal to Bob and not hungry, then print Bob is not hungry. Means if the hungry case doesn't comply with the true statement. Else in any other case, if the statement or the condition is not set or met, so then print not sure who is this or if they are hungry. Now we will move with if statement to the task 6. There was nothing to be. If you want, I can just show you this thing as a trial. I just copy this and paste it here. We run this. So see here it says a is either 1 or above 10. If I do it and here, means it should be 1 and greater than 10. Then no, it is not. So this condition failed. And if we add else here and do a print statement here, the condition is not met. So if we run it now, so the conditions are not met because the number which is equal to 1 cannot be greater than 10. Same case here, if we do this, we will get the first output. Back syntax on line 2. It's correct, I guess. In Python we need to take care of indentation too, as that can give error. Let me just press enter and do this. Not running, I don't know why. So we'll just leave this for now. Let's go to our task 6, that is about if statement. So it says if age is less than 17, print this. Else if age is 17 or greater than 17, then print this statement. And it says how that works. This is a flowchart diagram that the algorithm starts. Is driver younger than 17? If yes, you are not old enough to drive, stop. If no, then you are old enough to drive, then stop. Means not stop the driving, just the code execution stops. So in the code editor, click on this shipping.py. Let's just click on this and follow the instructions to complete this task. So we'll just click on complete for now and see. In this project you will create a program that calculates the total cost of a customer shopping basket including shipping, and shipping charge included in the price of the product. And if a customer spends over $100, they get free shipping. If a customer spends less than $100, the shipping cost is $1.24 per kg of the basket weight. And print the customer total basket cost including shipping to complete this exercise. So I guess spend over 100, so if equal to 100, the same condition will be given. So as you can see, it's certain. These are the comment in Python. This is not recognized by compilers and ignored while executing the code. So this triple inverted comma and triple inverted comma here states that this all text are commented out just for user purpose, not the compiler purpose. So it says customer basket cost is 34 and customer basket weight is 44. So we have to write an if statement to calculate the total cost here. So let's see, the customer basket cost is 34 and if it spent over $100, so it's not. So for now we'll just write if customer basket cost is greater than 100, or for now we can just check for less than 100, then just print here. And so they have to pay per kg of the basket weight 1.20 per kg. So customer basket cost is less than 100, so we'll define a variable here as a customer total basket cost as for 0 right now. So now if the customer shops for less than 100, then the customer total basket cost becomes, just paste it here, plus we'll give parenthesis open and close contains the customer basket weight per kg, that is 44 kg for now, multiplied by how much, 1.20. This will be a floating, so we'll just do 0.0 here so as to give a float. Now this is done, so we'll just do print customer total basket cost. And if these conditions are not met, there's an extra space, so it will be else print customer total cost that's it. So just run the code. It didn't give us the flag, so just go for a hint right now. We did the same, that is, we need to print free shipping or the total basket cost including is. Just go back to here, it didn't show us that, so So we just do as it is stated there. So the code will become as shipping cost per kg 1.20 with customer basket cost and customer basket weight already given. So if customer basket cost is greater than or equal to X, then print free shipping. So that will be 100 in our case, and else shipping cost equal to customer basket weight into shipping cost per kg, that is 1.20, and customer basket cost will be X, that is 100. Sorry, I'm not 100. Here it becomes customer basket cost plus, just wait here, plus the shipping cost. Let's just save that, gives our flag. Name shipping cost is not defined here. So we'll just do it here like I'm sorry, I just misspelled mine one. I missed an I here. Oh, sorry. Very sorry for that. Let me just paste that here again. That will become customer basket cost plus shipping cost. These are very long variables. Avoid that when you do that in the real time. So just do run code. Shipping cost per kg is not defined, but here is defined already. So S is missing. Run code again. So yes, total basket cost is 86.8 and the flag is THM this. So just to submit it, and in shipping.py on line 15 change the customer basket variable to 100 and rerun your code. So we just do it as 101 and rerun the code. So it says that if run the code line 15, so I'm really sorry, let it be 0 here only. Customer basket cost, so here it says to change it to 101, so it will exceed more than 100. So yes, the shipping is free, so it is 101, and this is my very first app with the flag. I did press Ctrl V by mistake. This didn't get copied. Yes, we are done. Now we will learn about loops in this. So how that works, whether statement is correct or not, it works on that case. So as you can see, is I equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to 10, print the I and then increment the I by 1. So it will get printed till 10. So means 1 to 10 will be printed. Now here we have a website, facebook.com, google.com, amazon.com. So for sites means characters index as 0, 1, 2. So that will be sites. In websites, print site. So it will print each content of this list. And here for I in range 5, so it will run from 0 to 5 but less than 5. So that is from 0 to 4, and it will print I that is from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. On the code editor, click back on script.py. We did that, and code a loop that outputs every number from 0 to 50. From 0 to 50 we will use a for loop for 0 to 50. So that means for I in range, so we'll keep the range 51 because we need to print till 50. Print I. I'm really sorry, I have a habit of VS Code here. Let's run the code. So now we printed our text till 50 as we wrote 51, and here as you can see it prints till -1. The flag is thm loop while for, and in this my channel I will also print or make videos on solution of HackerRank, Python, Java, C and C++. I have 5-star in those, so don't forget to subscribe the channel. Now here we are going to deal with our Bitcoin project. In this we will learn about functions. So for defining a function we use def with followed by the function name with any argument we need to pass or we want to pass, followed by the code inside it. So it's like a say hello means calling the function from here with argument Ben. So the name argument parameter is Ben, so it will print name, that is Ben, nice to meet you. So it's another function, that is spent equal to 10, spent equal to spent plus calc cost. So calc cost is the function here and switch is the item here. So print you have spent plus spent, it will be calculated in this one. So now the task is you have invested in Bitcoin and want to write a program that tells you when the value of Bitcoin falls below a particular value in dollar. So in the code editor, click on the bitcoin.py tab. We did it, write a function called Bitcoin to USD that takes an input Bitcoin underscore amount. So here we need a Bitcoin falls below 30,000. You need to create a function to convert Bitcoin to USD. If your Bitcoin falls below $30,000, print a message. You can assume that one Bitcoin is worth 40,000. So for that, here it is already done, I guess. So with Bitcoin to USD that takes an input Bitcoin amount, it is already declared here. The amount of Bitcoin you own and Bitcoin value USD. Now the function should return the USD value and use the function to calculate the value of Bitcoin in USD, and if the value falls below 8,000, print a message to alert you. Here it says if Bitcoin is not $25,000 in the code data, upload the Bitcoin to USD value and etc. So I will just write the code in our or in my VS Code and will just return back in a short while. So as you can see, I wrote the code and it ran successfully, giving us the flag. So here, as you can see, I defined the function as Bitcoin to USD as stated, and it told to take the value as Bitcoin input and Bitcoin value USD here. So those are the parameters here, and the USD value will be Bitcoin to USD into investment in Bitcoin will be total USD value. So if the USD value is greater than 30,000 and do nothing, just return the value, and if it's less than that, print this one. So now we have our flag here. Just copy and paste that here. Now it's saying one Bitcoin is now worth $25,000. In the code editor, update Bitcoin to USD value. So just do it as 25 and see if your Python program recognizes that your investment is below the 30,000 threshold. So let's run code. So yes, investment below 30,000, sell. So it's completed. And now for find handling, you can just read this. It is a basic file one. So in the code editor, write code to read the flag.txt file. What is in this file? You just go to our script file here, just remove this. We will do f equal to open with a file.txt name in read mode. For that we will do R, and now for printing, I guess we use f.read. So in print we will use f.read. Close this and we will just close the file. So for that I have f.close. we run the code here, no such file directory found. So sorry, it's flag.txt here, file name. Run code again. So now we get our file, that is thm file read. We just copy the flag and paste it here. I will make a detailed videos in Hindi also for others to understand, and that will be a much more detailed one. So in this we will learn about import datetime, current datetime as datetime now, and print current time. This is all you can learn about. Here some popular libraries for scripting as Skype, font tools. You can just read it on the document. Scripting or Skype for using that. And furthermore, for now this room is completed. So congratulations, we completed a recently or newly launched room on the date only. So in the further videos I will just complete the nmap and further complete beginner rooms and further any other room that I like. Till then, stay safe and happy. Thank you.